Welcome to the Let's Talk BS podcast. I'm Bryan.
And I'm Sofia, and we're coming to you live from the
757, where we discuss real estate,
culture, and current events.
Hey, good morning, Sophia. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you? Good morning.
Doing better today, man. I've been down bad this whole week.
Dang. What happened?
Yeah, it started, I want to say, man, it started kind of like last Friday. It's about a week ago. Last Friday evening. Mm-hmm. I started to, like, when the kids came home from school, we were outside doing stuff like we always do, and I just kind of felt tired, like really exhausted. Mm-hmm. And I just felt, because I know last week was a lot going on. Like, I remember last week, I worked out a lot. Yeah. Work was a lot. Played golf multiple times. Like, it was just I did something vigorously every single day, and then work was a lot every single day. And the kids had their activities as well. So it was just a lot going on. So I felt like I kind of hit a wall. That typically happens with me sometimes. Okay. Like on like a week, like maybe Thursday night or Friday night, I'll be like, man, I'm exhausted, right? Yep. And so that evening.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, right. So that evening, I was just real tired. My neck started to hurt. My head started to hurt. So I was like, man, I just want to go to sleep. I normally have myself like a little celebratory, like when the weekends, like a little drink on a Friday night or something at home. And I just wasn't feeling it. I just wanted to go to sleep. So the next morning I woke up and I still wasn't feeling good. And really, that's when I would say it really kind of started. At first, I thought it was just like me hitting a wall. Mm-hmm. But then I kind of started to have like fever a little bit, headache or whatever. Like I said, my head was just hurting. I started to get chills and stuff. And so, yeah, I've been pretty much down since then. And I would say I feel today about 95%, 100%. I mean, I'm good. I just got a cough here and there still, but as far as how I actually feel, I feel fine. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that that's back in order. It's crazy how, we always on the go, but like when you down, it's like, man, I be sitting there like, man. And for me, when I was telling Brooke, like I feel like one of the worst feelings for me is like not feeling productive. You know what I'm saying? Like when I'm sick and I got stuff to do, and it's like I feel like I can't do it the right way or all the way. You know what I mean? I'm kind of limited in my ability to be able to do what I need to do. You know what I mean? So that's kind of beat me up just mentally. And then just my body, I just couldn't really do much this week. So it's been a rough week for your boy, but I'm back. I'm here.
You're back.
Yeah. Right, so outside of that, I'm, like I said, everything's well. Just, this week I was pretty much down and out. Yeah.
So did that affect like anything you did over the weekend? So you saying like on Friday that was it? You was like,
nah, because I got kids, man. So Saturday, Sloan, my daughter, she had gotten invited to a birthday party. That was pretty early. It was like a birthday party all day too. I've never seen one of those. The invitation said from 10 to 7. It was like, what? Like all day. So it was at one of her classmates' house.
Well, actually, Jada's birthday last year was all day.
All day? Okay.
Yeah. That's so because it was 12 until. So it wasn't like how you just stated, 10 to 7. Mm-hmm. It was just 12 until, because I did it at Ocean Breeze. And so I rented a cabana. With the cabana, you get the cabana all day.
Well, that's different. I think that's a little different because that's like at a pool thing. So it's, what I'm saying? Like you can kind of just hang out. I'm talking about like this was at somebody's house. Oh. You know what I mean? So, I don't know.
Okay.
Just seemed like it was
that is a little different.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
ultimately, same concept. Probably because since it was at their house, they were like, you can just stop by when you want to.
Yeah, that's kind of how they looked at it. Yeah.
Whenever you feel like stopping by.
Yeah, so so Brooke and Sloan went by there Saturday morning, around like 11-ish. And so me and Niall, we went to Dick's Sporting Goods. I got him some more sneakers because his last couple weeks he's been going to play basketball. One of my buddies, shout out to Kaleo, he be having like almost like practice for the kids at his house every Wednesday, and even some other days. But we've been going over there on Wednesday evenings, and he just runs drills for him, show him the basics. Like we have a hoop at my house, so we'll do like me and my son will go out there. Like we were out there yesterday. Like we'll play basketball, shoot. I'll kind of show him some stuff here and there. But Kaleo really like breaks it down, shows them where their hand needs to be on the ball when they shoot, show them how to jump off of certain legs when they're doing layups. So he kind of really shows them like the basic stuff. I'm just out there like playing with my son, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, shout out to Kay for definitely taking the time out to do that, man. That's been really dope. My son really been looking forward to that on a week-to-week basis. But he needed some shoes, like, because basketball season was this winter, so I had bought him some shoes for this past winter, and some LeBrons. And so now, he's kind of grown out. I'm just pretty small on him. So this past weekend, I got him some running shoes because he wants to run track. So I got him some running shoes, and I got him some more basketball shoes since he's going to be doing, the basketball workouts with Kay over the summer. So that was cool. He really appreciated that. Dick's Sporting Goods is his favorite store. Like, even when he sees the commercials on TV, he's like, Dad, that's Dick's. That's Dick's, And so, So, and we were watching tennis, I think it was on Saturday a little bit, and the tournament is sponsored by Dick's. So they kept talking about Dick's all the time because they were obviously sponsoring the tournament. So, so Saturday we did that. And then, like I said, I was kind of feeling fatigued. And so I'm thinking we're going to be in the house after that. Because once the ladies came home, it was around like 1:30. And then I got kind of conned into the kids wanting to go swim in the pool at one of my buddy's house, which right around the corner. So we walked over to his house and got in the pool. And we was over there every time we go over there, we there for
all day,
4 hours or so. I mean, it's just what it ends up being. And so we were over there chilling. We were, in the pool, having a good time. But that took a lot more energy out of me. So when I got home around like 5:30, 6 o'clock, I was exhausted. And, I pretty much laid in the bed and went to sleep. And then Sunday, what I do Sunday? Sunday, Brooke, she had lunch with one of her friends. They typically get up once every like couple months. And so I had the kids. So the kids, they just, were just playing really in the house for real. And I took them outside as well. So I kind of set in my sunroom so I can still lay down and relax, but they were outside running around, the backyard. So that's pretty much it, my weekend.
Okay.
What about you? How was your weekend?
Every time I think about my past weekend, it always is a blur. So let me see. I went to Top Golf on Saturday.
Okay.
My daughter had a birthday party, and the weekend before, or maybe not even the weekend before, maybe it was the weekend before last, I dropped her off at King's Dominion, and she had me waiting for 45 minutes before she walked out of that park, even though I told her to be out of the park at a certain time. So because she had me waiting, I told her for the rest of 2024, wherever she go, I'm going to be her best friend. So I'm like her best buddy, right? So when she went to Top Golf to the birthday party, I stayed.
Okay.
And I brought the other kids.
Okay.
So for the rest of this year, until she can get her timing right, I will be her best friend for the rest of the year. So wherever you see her, you'll see me. No independence this year.
No more dropping off?
No, absolutely not. Because when I'm ready to go, it's time to go.
Time to go. I got you.
45 minutes is disrespectful.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Now I'm her tag-along friend.
Okay. I ain't mad at that.
So did that. And then we got up Sunday morning, I think, and went to the park. Yeah, we went to the park and we ran. All of us, me and all the kids, we all ran around a lake, Oak Grove Lake, and then we stopped at the park, played at the park for a little bit, then we came home. And then later on Sunday evening, me and a couple of my friends went to the street food festival in Norfolk.
Okay. How was that?
It was cool. It was a lot of people out there. Oh my gosh. It was probably more people at that festival than the taco festival and the wing festival that I went to.
Okay.
So it was a lot of people out there, a lot of different food, a lot of the same food trucks, but just different things. I tried some vegan food. I tried some street fries and some other stuff.
Was it good? The food pretty good?
I didn't like anything this time.
Nothing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The best one as far as food goes was the wing festival.
Wing festival was the best one. Okay.
That was the best one.
Okay. That actually sounds good. I was thinking about maybe put some wings on the grill this weekend.
I'm putting some chicken quarters on the grill either today or tomorrow. I don't know. Probably today. I think I'm gonna do it today because I want some jerk chicken.
Okay.
And I like jerk chicken on the grill. So
Yeah,
or
that's
in
what
the
I
air
had
fryer,
on,
but I prefer it on
I
the
had
grill.
that Memorial weekend. Yeah, I think I told you
Okay.
at my parents' house. Yeah, that's what we had. We had jerk chicken. It was really, really good.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I've been wanting some good hot wings. I like to smoke my wings on the grill, so I cook them low and slow, for like
Yeah.
3 hours, and it's I like them. They're pretty good, and I put the sauce on them at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's good. That's what's up.
Yeah. And then this week, let me see. I was supposed to have a lunch on Monday, and who I was supposed to have the lunch with, she canceled that morning. And then Tuesday, I had I had just work stuff. I was busy all day Tuesday. I didn't even get a chance to go anywhere Tuesday. That during the day, but then on Tuesday evening, we went to the 21 Savage concert.
Okay.
Yep.
21
Savage concert
21.
in Virginia Beach at the amphitheater. That was fun. So
Okay.
I won VIP tickets to go see 21 Savage.
Who all went?
It was me and my me and my oldest daughter, and then my cousin's oldest son.
Okay. That's what's up.
Yep. So I had the teenagers with me.
Okay.
That was fun, and then it was funny because I won the tickets through my job, and so or our job, and so there were other people who won as well that I knew, and it was just funny seeing them there.
Yeah.
At 21 Savage concert.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
That does sound interesting. Very interesting, to say the least. Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, they knew the music, so,
Yeah.
hey,
That's what's up.
Yeah, and then, Wednesday, oh my gosh, what did I do on Wednesday? I know I did something. Oh, I was busy with work. I had gotten some applications that I needed to get all settled and get the pre-approval sent out. And then on Thursday, I went to this meeting that was kind of different.
Okay.
When I got there, there was a person who said that they speak to dead people. What are they called? Mediums? I think it's mediums.
Shit, I guess so.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
There was one person who was there who did that, and another person who did something else, and they were talking about witches and all this other stuff, and I was like, yeah, I don't think this is for me.
Oh wow. So what was the meet? I mean, what was it like?
It was supposed to be where you learn about your marketing strategy, what type of person that you are, and then based on your characteristics, that's how you market.
Okay. That's not what it was.
But the conversation was just not. It didn't. It maybe that was the intent, but the conversation didn't go in that direction.
Okay.
And so yeah, it just wasn't for me. And then we're here today.
That's funny.
I had a busy week. I'm glad I didn't get sick.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that didn't happen.
Yeah, and that's the thing with my house too, because like my daughter, one day earlier in the week, she wasn't really feeling the greatest. So I'm thinking that whatever I had, because y'all people don't know I'm stubborn, man. Like I don't go to the doctor. I don't take medicine. I think by like Monday, Tuesday, I think it was like Tuesday, I was like, yo, I need to take something. So I started taking some Motrin, and that joint worked. And then Brooke got mad at me. She was like, yo, you need to go to the doctor. But I don't know. I just be like, yo, like it normally, because this one actually lingered pretty long. So this one I really probably should have went to the doctor. You know what I'm saying? But normally when I get sick, that's like, I'm pretty sick, it's normally like 2 to 3 days, and I bounce back. But yeah, this one lasted pretty long, so I probably should have figured out what was going on. I could have probably got some medicine to put myself in a better situation. But yeah, so my daughter.
I don't even know what they would have gave you. Honestly.
That's the thing. That's how I always be thinking. I'm like,
yeah, you gauge
at the end of the day,
what,
what are they gonna give me that's gonna change? So I'm just gonna have to. I could take some over the counter stuff and make me at least feel better as this whole virus, whatever, moves through my body.
That's what medicine is for. It's to knock you out so you can get the rest your body needs. It's the recovery time.
Yeah,
that's mostly what it's for. So you don't have to sit in agony.
Correct. Yeah.
Otherwise, if it's something like where you need antibiotics and things like that, and you'll know. Like I feel like when you need an antibiotic, you know.
Yeah.
Like you know, if your throat is too swelled up, then you probably need something to.
Yeah, it wasn't none of that. It's just my head was hurting, man.
Yeah.
It was just like, it was kind of like migraine headaches to the point, or just like, it just, I didn't have like a fever. You know what I'm saying? Like my temperature wasn't high. I mean, I wasn't like, you know,
Well, you just said you had the chills, so that
Yeah,
didn't last long.
Yeah, it didn't.
Oh,
that was the
okay.
first day. Yeah, Saturday I had the
Okay.
chills. And then after that, I mean, it was just I had headaches for real. You know, what I mean, my head just kept hurting.
And you know what's crazy? I've noticed that, like, if I'm on my phone too much and I haven't drank enough water, I get that same feeling where I feel exhausted, tired, and I just need to rest.
Yeah.
And that's ultimately what I just need to do.
Yeah. I need
Just
to do
kind of
better.
like zone out.
Zone out, yeah. I need to do better too, man, because I always, I got like family, cousins, and friends that I don't talk to that much. And I think I don't know if I mentioned on the podcast before, but I got friends and family who reach out to me, or ones who I be thinking about and I want to reach out to them. But a couple of reasons. I'd be so busy, right? And then two, it's like all I do is talk all day for work. Just talk.
Yeah.
So like once like I'm able to like wind down, I guess you can say, like I don't feel like talking, man. I'll be honest with you. I don't feel like talking because it's like, and when I say wind down, I'm on go. I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and that's when I start working out. And then I get, I come home, get the kids ready, and all of that. Brooke and I get them situated, get them off to school. Then my phone is already starting to. I'm in emails. I'm on the phone.
Right.
And that process normally don't end until. I mean, it depends on the
It
day.
depends on, yeah.
Sometimes it goes into 8 o'clock at night. Sometimes it ends around like 6:30. But like the time that I would be able to talk to, my friends, because a lot of them work, so they can't talk like during the day. So I can't just incorporate them within the talking that I normally do. They don't get off till 5 o'clock or whatever. Like I don't in the evening time, man. Like, and then my kids, they need my attention and all that. So it's like, yo.
That's funny.
So I got a lot of family who like my cousin Stefan. Like I feel bad because like. I've been meaning to call him for a long time, just check in on him. Like that was the closest thing I ever had of a brother in my life, growing up. But it's like, yo, like he work, he don't get off to a certain time, man, and our schedules don't still align.
Yeah, listen.
You know what I mean?
When me and one of my cousins, we don't talk because of that reason. It's like I don't have the time. Like when she's available after hours, that's kind of like. It's kind of, if you think about it from this perspective, that's like when I clock into my second job. Like, when I get them off to school, that's me clocking into my day job, right? And then when they come home, it's like I'm clocking into my second job, and that's being a parent. Because, you got food, you got playtime, you got bedtime, you got dishes after you done cooked, you got, straightening up before the night ends, because I'm big on that. Like, we're not going to sleep at the house a mess. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's a lot. And then that also includes, phone calls for work. I remember, what was it? I think it was Wednesday night. Yeah, it was Wednesday night because it wasn't last night. I sat on the phone with this lady till 8 o'clock. And when I tell you, when I finished that phone call, my head was hurting. I was upset. It was like I was trying to explain a mortgage to a 10-year-old. That's what I felt like.
Damn. That's tough.
Ain't it? Doesn't it sound tough? Just imagine you trying to explain mortgage to someone who just isn't comprehending.
Yeah.
Like what you're saying. I remember one of the questions verbatim was, are you a party in a lawsuit? Mm-hmm. And it was like pulling teeth to get the answer to that question. And I was like, she's like, I don't understand. I don't understand what you mean by lawsuit. I'm like, what? Like, like.
She don't understand what you mean by lawsuit?
Lawsuit. It was the lawsuit word that kept hanging her up. Yeah, and I was like, are you in process of being sued by someone? And is there an active case? Mm-hmm. Or vice versa, someone suing you? Yeah. And she was like, I did get hurt and, I just don't understand the lawsuit. It just hasn't started yet. And I was like, okay, was the suit filed? Like, I feel like if you are in a lawsuit, you know.
Yeah, that's not something that just like.
And it was just like,
about, you know what I'm saying?
And it got to the point where I was just like, you know what? At this point, if you can't answer the question, and if it comes up later, then that's gonna be on you. Like, I don't know what to do at this point. Yeah. Like, let's just be on you. I tried my best. I slowed down the word. I was like, lawsuit. Like, I thought she didn't understand what I was saying. I thought it was the ebonics in me. I don't know.
Man,
but crazy. I was like, oh my gosh. So I felt like I lost some brain cells in that conversation. Mm-hmm. And I had to let it go.
That's funny.
And I went to bed that night with my head hurting. I remember taking a Tylenol and everything because
That's funny.
yeah, she really had my head going, honestly. And it's not too many times where I fire clients, but I was on the verge. I was on the verge of firing a client.
Yeah, man. I'm not trying to sound holier than thou or trying to sound like I'm above anybody, but yeah, my time and energy is value in that. So if you pulling away from it or draining my energy, draining it, like nah, I can't. We gotta figure out something different to do.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah,
we do. And speaking of stupidity,
what?
Did you see in the news where the guy he had a court case and it was done virtually. Okay. And so he also had a doctor's appointment almost at the same time. And so what he did was he logged into the Zoom call for court as he was on his way to the doctor.
Okay.
While he was on the call, the judge asked him, "Hey, are you driving?" And he was like, "Well, yeah, I'm pulling up to my doctor's appointment, but I'm about to park." And you could hear the joy in his voice. He wasn't like disrespectful. He wasn't mean about it, anything.
Yeah.
So he parked. Everything was good. Judge was like, "Okay, are you stationary? Like, are you in spot?" And the guy was like, "Yeah, I'm good now." Mm-hmm. Judge looked at the case and was like, "We're here because you have a suspended license for driving." Meanwhile, he's driving on camera.
Oh, man.
So it was just the craziest thing ever. But to make things worse, the judge was like, "Okay, I see you driving. Turn yourself in at 6 p.m. today."
Dang.
Of course, they have to go back to court because he now is in jail. Mm-hmm. Come to find out, man, my man's never had a license to begin with.
You never had a license to begin with?
That's what he said. He was. They asked him. They said, "Well, did you have a did you ever have a license?" He was like, "Yeah, I think I had a permit."
He said, "Yeah, I think I had a permit."
But I don't really know.
Oh my gosh.
We got to do
He was
better.
a brother too on it.
Yep.
That's terrible. It's always us,
out of
man.
Michigan.
Oh, so that's you though. That's where you from.
Detroit.
Hey, we got to do better.
Ann Arbor. Sorry. Ann Arbor specifically.
That's where the college is. Yeah, University of Michigan. Yeah, that's crazy.
Isn't it?
That's crazy.
Isn't it?
So my man was he was driving to the doctor's office and
had a Zoom
court case for and the case was for him driving with the suspended license, and he's sitting there driving.
Yes.
That's wild.
And when the judge...
I would have loved to see his face the moment...
Oh, you should have saw the judge's face. The judge was like, I don't even know what to say right now. And the guy was just sitting there like
looking probably stuck. Yeah.
Like, it was almost like he wanted to do the Homer Simpson. Have you ever seen that meme?
What I would have probably done, yo,
when he goes to the bushes.
Yeah. Homer. Now I would have done like, yo, yeah, it's bad service. I start shaking this thing. and it just would have went away. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
Yeah,
it was hilarious.
So funny.
Watching that was hilarious.
That's crazy. No, I didn't see that. You got to send that joy to me, yo. I didn't see that. That's like I said, but me being down this week, all of like the social media stuff, or like all of that stuff, man, I felt like I was kind of dead to the world when it comes to a lot of those things, man. So I didn't see that.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to bring that one up early because I had to speak of stupidity. Like, that was just ultimately crazy to me.
That was wild.
But in mortgage news, guys, I saw where this lady got online and she basically was talking about how buying a house isn't for everybody. And how do you feel about that? Do you think that's true? Buying a house isn't for everybody?
Yeah, I don't think there's one thing that's for everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that blanket statement is I agree. You know what I mean? But, I do think that if you are able to buy a house, then you should buy a house. Because at the end of the day, you have to live somewhere, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's smarter to live with family, whatever, whatever your situation is, right? Where you're not, hold on. Uh-oh. Sorry, I'm still getting over my like I said, my sickness. But sometimes if you're not in the position to buy a house and it doesn't make the most sense for you or whatnot, then I agree. I mean, it's not for everybody, right? I don't think there's one thing that's out there that's for everybody. Yeah. But I do think that if the options that you're down to is, hey, should I buy or rent, right? I do think that the better option is to buy. You know, I think that is something, because in most cases, we'll talk about most people. Most people out here, they're paying for where they're living in some form or fashion, right?
Yep.
So to me, putting that money, you know, towards a home that you own is always going to be a better, you know, thing to do for your long term than to pay rent.
Absolutely.
Now, I understand paying rent does leave flexibility as far as, like, I know a lot of times the millennials, because I got a buddy of mine who, this is how he is. He subscribes to this where, you know, he doesn't buy houses. He rents them. He always tries to get like short-term rent places so he can move around. And I guess he said he doesn't feel like he's tied down. He doesn't buy a car, like he leases cars, but he does like Turo. Like he'll lease a car and he'll have the car for like a week because he works from home. So it's like, for him, it's like, hey, I don't need to buy a car because I don't really need to go very many places. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need to have a car accessible for me 31 days out of the week. You know, I can rent a car for a week, out of a month, I'm sorry. I can rent a car for a week this week, get all the stuff I need to be done, you know, whatever. And then the next 2 weeks, I don't need a car. You know, I can get transportation other ways if I need to leave. If not, that's cool. Then, you know, he looks at that as a way of saving money and, you know, being more strategic, which I get. You know, and everybody has their own different ways of going about things. But for me, as an overall, I do think that buying is something that most people out there, if your options are buying or renting, I think buying is something that really could help you achieve wealth a lot faster than, you know, maybe some other, you know, ways, if that's what your goal is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What about you?
I mean, I totally agree with everything that you just said, but there's also levels, right? If you know, like for example, right, we're in a high rate of our environment. And everybody, it's not one person that goes out and says, you know what, I want the worst house on the market to live in, right? Everybody wants the prettiest thing out there. They want the house that looks absolutely fabulous, right?
Of course.
But you have to stay within your budget. And sometimes a lot of people, even nowadays, they buy at the top of their budget.
Yeah.
And if you want your property to appreciate in value, then you have to expect for the taxes to go up on that property too.
Yeah.
And so that directly affects your mortgage payment, because when you're not putting down 20%, guess what? Your taxes and your insurance is escrowed into your monthly payment. So that means that your payment will go up. Your principal and interest, the mortgage part of your loan, does not increase. It's those taxes and insurance that go up. If you think about it from the perspective of an auto loan, I mean, I can't stress this enough. We talked about this, I don't know how many times. Your auto loan insurance is never the same. It's never the same. It always increases. Property taxes, I mean, that's a huge thing here in Virginia.
Man, oh man.
Right?
Yeah,
Personal property taxes.
Oh gosh.
That right there increases. So why don't you expect for your homeowner's insurance or your taxes to increase? Like, you have to put things into perspective. Like, sometimes you have to use knowledge in one space and apply it to others.
Yeah. Yeah, which I mean,
and if you don't know,
some people just don't know. Yeah, they don't know.
Ask the question.
Yeah.
I mean, I tell that to my clients.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
no, I
look,
do too. I mean,
you know, this is something that you have
honestly,
to expect.
the paperwork that we have them fill out in the loan package, it says that too. Yeah, it does say that. I mean, I know everybody didn't read everything, so
they don't.
I get it.
But at the same time, it's like one of those things where, you know, they don't realize it until the payment is being made. It's just like when people go out and they start looking at homes, right? And let me know if this happens to you, but during the pre-approval process, we go over, okay, you want to be approved at $400,000, okay, your payment's going to be $3,200 a month. And they're like, yeah, because they want to really look at $400,000 houses. Then they go out there and they start looking at $400,000 houses. They put an offer on there, and then things start to turn real, right? That's the moment that they're like, okay, wait, now this is real. I'm about to really buy this house. We get the information back. We input everything in the system, and then we're like, okay, your payment is $3,250. They're like, what? I didn't know it was that high. Like, what? We went over this. I've sent you the documents. And then on top of that, I TBD everything, which means that I upfront underwrite everything. So that payment is in there. So there's no way. And then even in my pre-approval email, I tell you a breakdown of your payment. But it's people out there that buy at the top of their budget, and they shouldn't be. And I think that that's what's happening nowadays, is that people are buying too high, and then when things start to increase, they're not ready for it.
Yeah.
So always remember, you don't have to max out your budget. It's okay to buy something below your means a little bit. So then that way, if things start to increase, it's not highly affecting you.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. And speaking of budget, you know, I got one of my buddies, man, I'm helping him buy a house right now. And we're running into an issue because we were actually supposed to look at closing next week, early next week. But one of the issues that we're running against is the bank statements, right? So his, you know, he's been, you know, getting paid and putting money away to save for the purchase because he's having to pay his own closing costs. He's getting down payment assistance through Virginia Housing. We're doing a Virginia Housing loan for him, with him being a first-time home buyer. And his situation is, and again, you know, I know people aren't thinking of things like this when you're buying a house, but, you know, sometimes to me, common sense ain't common, right? So, like, my buddy, man, what he's doing is when he gets paid, he's immediately taking all of the money out of the bank that he just got paid, and then he's taking out cash, and then, I mean, I guess he just pays for things in cash or something. I don't know exactly what he does after that, but the account he has is like only for like that first couple of hours that day when he gets paid has, like, you know, money in there for real, you know what I mean? But then, you know, the account, like, is still being used to, you know,
auto pay stuff.
for stuff, you know, things you buying stuff, maybe buy something for food, something, whatever, buy something online, whatever. And the account is showing in the negative a lot. And what happens, I know the account, I know he has overdraft protection, right? So I'm sure that he's leaning on that. And I feel that, you know, we need to understand that overdraft protection is there as a safety. It's not a crutch, right? Two different things. I want to make sure people hear that. Overdraft is a safety. It's a safety net. So it's like, hey, if something timing doesn't match up, whatever, you have that ability to kind of, okay, go below a little bit before the money hits the account, whatever it may be, right? But don't abuse that, because what's happening now is we're in a situation where, you know, it's delaying his closing, because when it comes to buying a house, underwriting is going to look at it from a standpoint of like, hey, you can't even manage your current situation, you know, because your account consistently is being overdrawn. So how am I going to give you a loan to buy a house, and you now have this new payment that you're not used to paying, and your account every single month is consistently going into the negative? Now, his rebuttal is like, hey, I know that it's overdraft. I know it's there. I'm just using it because I know as soon as I put the money in the account, it takes it. I'm cool. But that doesn't look good. That's not how you budget, how you financially move at all. You know what I'm saying? So that's just something I wanted to kind of share and put out there, not to put his business out there. I'm not putting names or anything or nothing like that, but just overdraft. Like, I know a lot of times these companies, these banks will be, you know, sell to you like, hey, you overdraft protected for $1,000 or whatever it is, right? So you feel like, hey, if you don't got the money in the bank, you could just swipe, and then when you put money in the bank, it'll just replenish that way. Well, when it comes from a lending aspect, that is a no-go. Like, that looks bad, right? So just make sure that you're not doing those practices if you're in the market to try to buy real estate.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure I shared that.
Yeah. Going negative is definitely not a good thing. I mean, you think about it from the perspective of this, right? If I go let you borrow $1,000 and I give you my bank account to show you like I'm good for it, and then you constantly see me going negative, I mean, automatically you're gonna be like, well, how you good for it? Like, you know how you don't keep money in your account, you know? Yeah. So, and with the lender, you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, you're not just talking about $1,000 at this point. So I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, I'll drop some gems on this too. Like, for real, I feel like everybody, and I know it could be dangerous, but something I was taught later in the game, which I didn't even know, which I use, is honestly, you should not be using your debit card for anything. For real. Like, just something
Absolutely.
that, you know, I know.
My dad never used. I remember my dad had a debit card, and that thing was never activated. And I used to be like, why you don't use your debit card? He was like, no. Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I was guilty of it all the way up until probably like, when am I, 20? I'm 37. So I'll probably say like maybe like 9-10 years ago, because my parents, we never talked about. Like, you know, I
Right.
just always would just use my debit card because that was the money that I had, right?
Absolutely.
And so I would always use it like when I swiped, right? I didn't really keep very much cash on me or whatever, so I would always swipe my debit card.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of reasons why you don't want to use your debit card, right? You want to use a credit card, and then when that credit card statement comes, you just pay the credit card off in full completely, right? So obviously there's some discipline that has to be within that. So you want to make sure that, you know, I would try to make sure I keep that credit card limit on the lower end, you know, $500 to $1,000, so you're never like out there, you know, for a lot over swiping your card, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to not using your debit card, one, when there's, you know, like fraud that happens, you know, at least they're not attacking your actual money that you have in the bank, right? So if you're swiping your credit card and there's fraud that happens and someone gets the number, you know, they can only do things to the credit card. You can easily get it, you know, changed out. You can, you know, dispute the charge or whatnot. Boom. Versus them taking money from you, like your actual hard-earned money. It may take some time for them to investigate it or whatnot, or it may put you in a bind in a situation because you needed that money to pay your rent or your mortgage or whatnot, right? Versus a credit card is credit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's not your money, right? So that's one reason why you know, don't want to be swiping your debit card. You know, you can use your credit card.
Right.
Another reason is, like I just kind of explained, it's like, you know, a lot of times when you use your debit card, it's a delay, you know, when it actually shows up, but when that charge is used. So sometimes you could think that you have a certain amount of money in the account when you really don't. You know, that was something that always would trick me up. I remember one time I was using my debit card, and then, you know, I looked at my account because I remember I used to look at my account before I would pump gas. And I remember, like, I went to, like, pump gas one time, and, like, it said I didn't have any money. They declined or whatever, but I didn't realize that, like, a charge or something I had bought, like, 4 or 5 days ago had just hit the account, you know, and I had in my mind, when I looked at my account, I saw that I had money, like, earlier that day, and I didn't use my card or anything. And so it's just the timing of things, right? You don't want to put yourself in situations where you stuck. Now, I remember at that time, I was like, dang, I was stuck. I can't remember what I did, you know, to get gas. I may have put like a couple dollars in my tank or something, you know, whatever, just to get by until the account got replenished or whatever, moved some money around. I can't remember what I did in that situation, but it really put me in a tight situation. So, you know, you always want to use, when it comes to like swiping and things, man, you don't want to swipe your debit card, man. Get your credit card of a lower limit and use that as a supplement. And then just when the bill comes, you know, pay it off.
Yeah, I used to work in banking, and so that means that part of my job was to dispute fraud transactions. And I would have to actually go through all the transactions, see what was real, what wasn't, try to figure it out. And later I learned what I actually do is I have 2 checking accounts. I have one checking account where my direct deposit goes in, and I have another checking account where all my debits come out. So if I have any auto pay for anything, it's being auto paid out of that account. And so when, if there's ever a situation where something came out or something was debited out or somebody got that account information, I wouldn't even be in trouble because my direct deposit information is in a totally different account in which I don't really swipe the debit card. I'm human, every now and again I do, but I also use a credit card for majority of my transactions.
I don't have nothing. I don't have anything directly being debited out of my checking account. Literally everything that I pay for that's direct deposit, a gym membership,
everything comes off your credit card.
Everything's off the credit card.
Oh, see, I have some stuff that where it has to be like my HOA. It has to be from a checking account. If it's from a credit card, then they charge me a fee. So guess what I'm using? You know, trying to think what else is auto debt. My water bills the same way. When if I was to use a credit card, they charge me a fee, and everything is through the HOA. So I have to auto it, you know, do it from my checking account. Which if you use a checking, it's free. I want to say my gym membership at One Life, you have to use a checking account. I don't remember. It's a couple things where I couldn't use my credit card. Ultimately, what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
so
I got you.
Yep. So you just got to learn how to manage your money.
Correct.
Get you a budget, manage your money, make sure that you're not overspending, make sure you're not buying things at the top of your budget. Right.
That's right.
Like even when it comes to a car, you don't have to go out and get the the $80,000, $100,000 car just because that's what you like. If you can't afford it, you can't afford it.
Correct.
Right?
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
And then one other thing that I saw, and this actually broke my heart, right? Because I'm a woman and I'm black, so I really can relate to this. There was a lady, I can't remember do you remember what city it was in?
It was here, Virginia Beach.
Virginia Beach, okay.
Yeah, it was here. Yeah, I think the lady, I think she lived in Northern Virginia, if I'm not mistaken, but she was buying a home here locally in Virginia Beach. That's what made it hit home for me even more. But she was buying a oceanfront property, or near the oceanfront, I should say. I can't say if it's directly on this, oceanfront or whatever, but it was in that, that vicinity. And what happened, from my understanding, was she got on a contract. I think the price was like $750,000 or something there, close to $1 million. And she got on a contract, did everything that she's supposed to. Had, I guess, gotten pre-approved, or did all the stuff beforehand that you need to get to the point where you're under contract. And then the agent, I guess, called the buyer, that evening and was like, "Hey, I don't know how to tell you this, but that you can't move forward with buying the house." And she was like, "Well, why?" And then he was like, I don't know how to tell you this, but because you're black, And so I guess the woman who was selling the home, she was like in her early 80s or something like that. She was like 80 plus, white woman. And so I guess once she found out, I don't know how she found out, how the person looked on the other end of the transaction. But once she found out, she didn't want to sell the house to her. So I just think that's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Is.
And it's crazy. I mean, that's the thing, like we talk about it all the time. I mean, how race plays a role in pretty much everything that we do. I know a lot of times people don't want to act like it doesn't, but it really does. You know what I mean? Because you got people like that, she's 80 plus. I mean, she was around, when things were segregated, like legally. You know what I'm saying? So, you got a lot of people who are out here who still live by that, who still feel that way. And you got people that's much younger than her, much younger than in her 80s, that feel that exact same way, that may not necessarily take that same stand as she had, as far as not wanting to sell the house to her for discriminatory reasons. But I mean, it's just sad. It's sad to see that, you know what I mean? Like a woman of color, being told that she can't buy a house that she was under contract for because of how she looks and the color of her skin. I thought, when we in 2024, man, I thought that was something that was, long gone. Segregation was, over 60 years ago. You know what I mean? Right at 60 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's everywhere. I mean, some people may not think that it is, but racism is everywhere.
Oh yeah, and and the thing about it, and some people, man, it's in them so much that they feel that it's not in them. That because you got different types of it, man. You got some people who don't really talk about it. They want to, they don't agree and like a lot of things that black people are able to do. They'll just kind of keep it to themselves. You got some people, like this example here, who they still like, nah, I'm not trying to help this person at all in any way gain wealth or gain anything. Like I'm not, I'm just gonna cut them out of being in the equation totally if I can. You know what I'm saying? So you got people who talk it and scream it from the mountaintops, and you got some people who just, we call them closet, people like that, where they just kind of keep it to themselves, but they still have that feeling and that belief that, we're not of equal of, others. So
yeah. I mean, and it's crazy because this lady, if she's 80-something years old, that means that at some point, not only was she discriminated against, at some point, she was also discriminated against for being a woman, right? Because that was a thing, too.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I feel like we're circling back to that, but she knows what it was like, right? Because I think up until like 1970 or 1980, a woman couldn't even get a loan without a man. Ain't that crazy?
It is crazy. Yeah.
I couldn't even imagine living in that time. They would have did something to me.
Yeah.
I feel like this girl is not compliant.
Yeah.
Because ain't no way. So it's just crazy to hear that she did that. She discriminated her against her skin color.
I haven't heard. I know this came out, I think it was shortly after the pod last week. So I don't know anything further behind it. I don't know if she's just can't buy it now, because I know that's definitely illegal. I mean, you can't stop. I mean, at least I think so. I mean, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, so I guess
mean,
we'll kind of circle back once we hear more information about this particular story. But it just sucks to hear something like that happen, especially in our backyard like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I grew up in Virginia Beach. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
you know, this place.
You know, Maya told me the other day, she was like, I wish I was a beach kid.
Yeah, it's a thing.
I was like,
Shout out to my beach boys and girls, man.
She said she can walk,
Yeah.
she can go outside and walk around and stuff, and it wouldn't be an issue. I was like, girl, that's not a thing. Like,
Nah, that's not real.
Right, that's what I was telling her. I was like,
hey, look,
what?
it depends on where you live in the beach.
I was like, girl, don't be ignorant now.
It depends
Come
on where
now.
you live in the beach, man. Because I'm a beach boy all day. You know, we got our dance, hey, the beach boy, nah. But
Is that real?
that's a real thing.
Oh.
That's a beach boy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a real thing. But yeah, nah, the beach, I mean, it's a certain type of energy and a certain type of like flair that you have when you're from the beach, man. It's just a real thing. I mean, it's hard to, if you grew up here, even if you're not from the beach, you know what it is. It's kind of hard to speak at it from an adult's perspective, like if you moved here as an adult. But growing up, like, you know, the Beach Boys, we were live, man. You know, we just did everything a little bit better than everybody else. You know what I'm saying? You know?
Okay.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's what Maya's feeling right now.
That's what she
said. She's feeling that beach boy / girl wrath. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what she said. I said, oh, okay. Well, I mean,
but the going outside part though, nah, that ain't. I mean, that's not real.
She thinks she's ready to be outside. I think
that's what it sounds like.
That ain't gonna happen.
Not on your watch.
Not on my watch. Not this year, at least.
Yeah.
Maybe next year.
Yeah.
And then you know what's funny? So, you know, I'm so used to calculating dates, right? Mm-hmm. So she was like, she's 15 in I guess 6 months, according to the Secretary of State or DMV, whatever we got here. And for me, I was like, no, you're only 15 in 5 months. It ain't even 6 months yet, because I'm calculating by the days, like from January 5th until today. It is not 6 months. And she was like, no. She's like, I can go get my permit now. It's 6 months. It's June. And I was like, I don't think so. She was like, yes, it is. So I called the DMV, and it was like, yeah, she can get her permit. So
sweet.
She'll be driving here in the next week.
Where y'all can go get a permit like this weekend or something, or?
I don't know if it's not this weekend, because she's actually she's working on Saturday. So no.
Okay.
Maybe next week.
Okay.
Or something.
That's what's up.
We'll see. I'm not excited about this insurance bill, but you know.
Yo, speaking of bills, I know you mentioned I was going to chime in earlier, but you was on the road. Personal property tax. Shit.
I had to pay those.
Yeah, that joint ain't no joke. Especially because obviously the vehicle, I haven't, you know, I bought a vehicle last year, and it was a pretty expensive vehicle, but it was mainly for business purposes and for pleasure. I can't say it won't for one or the other, but it was for both. But it's crazy. The personal property tax on that joint was 6 bands.
Yeah, no.
It's crazy. Mm-hmm. I remember last year it was 5 bands, and I almost had a heart attack.
Look.
And so when I got the bill this, I'm like, what did they do? They put some tax on top of the personal property tax? Like, what happened?
Isn't it crazy how you have your money gets taxed when you work, right? You go out, you spend money, that's taxed.
Yep.
So your net pay is taxed. Mm-hmm. And then you buy the car, you're taxed for buying it.
Correct.
But then you're then taxed more for keeping it. Our system is crazy.
Yeah, man. It's wild. I was like, yo, when that bill came, and it's funny because Brooke was laughing at me because I got the bill like a month ago. And like she would always keep checking on me like, did you pay it? Because like we always go over our financials at the beginning of each month. And so, like, it was this past week or last week when it was the end of the month. It was over the weekend. Sometime, it's beginning of June. She was like, have you paid? Did you pay it yet? I was like, nah. I was like, they gonna get the money on the 5th. Like, I normally pay stuff when I'm alerted that it's due. Yeah. I don't always wait till the due date when it comes to certain things. Yeah. But this one, I was like, yeah, I'm not giving them money until the day of, just because that joint just felt hard.
So wait, you had to pay the personal property and the stormwater that day.
yeah, man. That
because my stormwater was due on the 5th.
yeah, it is. Yeah. But yeah, that personal property, I was like, good gosh almighty, man.
That's
now, obviously
funny.
during tax time, I saved a lot of money with this vehicle because I bought it in my business name, as I mentioned before when we were, we had the, our accountant buddy on here. But yeah, that personal property tax is a beast, man. It's a beast.
Yeah, I don't have that issue yet, so thank God.
Yeah, it's a beast.
It is. It is. It is. But yeah, I mean, that's what we got in mortgage news. That's the BS that we experienced last week. So upcoming, I don't really have anything going on this weekend. I think I might have an open house that I need to go to. The agent did reach out to me and said that there was an incoming offer, so we might not even need to have the open house this weekend.
Sweet. You better get that offer too, man.
We'll see.
You better get it.
Listen, we'll see.
Yeah.
And then outside of that, my daughter's doing hair, and then on Sunday, I just have to prepare my son. He's graduating on Monday from pre-K. So they do graduation for pre-K, not kindergarten.
Okay.
Because kindergarten is technically in school.
Yeah.
Where he is. Mm-hmm. So the transition is from pre-K to kindergarten. So he has his graduation for Monday night. So I'm excited.
That'd be dope.
Got to get him all prepped up for that.
Okay.
Got to do his hair. So that's what I'll be doing pretty much probably this whole weekend is somebody's hair. One of the three, if not all three.
Okay.
What about you?
Tomorrow, my baby girl, she has a gymnastics competition.
Oh, okay.
So I'm excited about that.
Can she backflip?
Yeah. She can. What do you like? When you say backflip, what you mean? Like jump in the air backflip?
Yeah, that's a backflip.
Yeah, I mean, but you can. Yeah, so
she can do a walkover.
Yeah, she can do
bend backwards and walk over.
Yeah, okay. That. As far as if she can jump,
she can cartwheel.
Yeah, she can cartwheel.
She can do a round off.
Yeah, she can do a round off. But as far as backflipping, I don't know. I've never seen her like be on a trampoline and jump and do a backflip before, so I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, she hasn't like jump on the ground and backflip before. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But yeah, tomorrow she has a gymnastics competition, and it's funny because my son, he plays sports, and he has a lot of trophies. I mean, he's played football for a couple of years now, basketball for a couple of years, soccer, a lot. So he has like maybe like 7 trophies in the house, right? And my daughter, she don't have no trophies.
Oh, this will be her first one.
Yeah, so this will be her very first one. So she's like super geeked about the trophy. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's like a big deal, big thing for her because she always sees her brother get some and she's, happy for him, but she want her own. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm excited for her when it comes to that tomorrow.
So she doesn't play any sports?
She just does gymnastics and ballet. And,
okay.
Yeah,
okay,
she played.
Okay.
We had her in soccer, but she couldn't finish it. She just wouldn't participate. Yeah, she
That's
just literally
the same thing Carter was on.
Yeah, she just wouldn't.
Except for I got him to participate. He just was out there like, all right, whenever it's my turn to run the ball.
Yeah. My daughter, she's like at least now it could change, but she's a girly man.
Oh,
She not. I don't really see very much like.
That's how my Jada was.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like athletics. I mean, I think she's going to be athletic naturally because of me and Brooke. Like we both are athletic, but I don't know. I just don't see her really venturing. I think she likes gymnastics a lot. She likes makeup and dolls and stuff like that. I just think that's more of her thing. I don't think she's going to be out here trying to kick soccer balls or, playing field hockey and, volleyball and stuff like that. I could be wrong, but we'll see.
What sports did Brooke play?
She played tennis growing up, and she played just tennis, actually. Just tennis.
Okay.
And ran track. Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were going to say volleyball because she's tall.
Gotcha. Yeah, nah, she didn't play volleyball, at least not to my knowledge. I don't think she's ever shared that with me. But I know she played tennis, though.
Maya tried that, and it wasn't successful.
Yeah. Tennis is an acquired taste for sure, man. I like tennis a lot, but it's something that, especially at a younger kid age like
Maya can surprisingly golf.
Oh, nice. Yeah, golf is my
thing.
Listen, yeah.
When we went to Top Golf, she has a video. She sent it to me, and, I mean, she did well. And to be surprised, I did very good at golfing. I beat everybody that was at the table. Now, all my competition was kids, but I beat everybody.
Don't tell me you're bragging about beating some kids, man. That's terrible, right? That's terrible. That's like me saying my son had his friends over at the house and I beat all of them in basketball, so I'm nice. Like what? Nah, you can't. You don't get no brownie points for that one.
I would take all the brownie points. One of them was 16.
That still don't mean nothing.
Nah,
that don't mean nothing.
I beat him. I don't know. Win is a win.
You're a whole adult, double that person's age.
A win is a win.
Nah, okay.
We've all played golf at the same level.
Okay.
That's my what.
Well, Top Golf ain't playing golf. Top Golf is you just hitting the ball trying to hit a target. It's not golf. Golf is different.
That's what I did.
You got to see golf, but
listen, I used to couldn't get it to the 125-yard area. I would barely get it past the red right in the front. If you ever been to Top
I know, the red joints.
it's the little red
That's the one that my mama always hit it into.
Right.
She hit it right in the red joint. Yep.
That's where I used to hit it to.
Yeah.
Then I got to the next level, which I think was, what color is the next one? Blue, purple, something? And then the middle one is like this orange-brown color. I made it.
Okay.
I made it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. But yeah, so like I said, I got the gymnastics competition for my daughter tomorrow, so she's looking forward to that. And then Sunday, I got one of my buddies. He's having, and I could say it because this is not going to be put out there until after the fact. But my buddy's doing a surprise brunch for his wife at the Cavalier on Sunday, so I'm looking forward to that. That makes me think of that Nas song, "Brunch on Sundays." So that's happening. And then my kids also are having their end of the year concert on Sunday as well. So
Nice.
we're gonna be leaving from the brunch and going directly there. So got a pretty eventful weekend. I'm glad I'm back and I feel better, so I can partake and enjoy it versus kind of be just dragging myself through it. So yeah.
We all been there.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys. Well, you can follow me at SKB_mortgage on Instagram and Facebook.
Yep. You can follow me, Bryan, BRYAN_Royster.
We're also available on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok for the Let's Talk BS PD, Let's Talk BS podcast. And we will see you next week.
See you next week.